Okay, that was weird. Okay, so somebody, I assume it was Vanessa, who wanted Poindexter, wanted Bullseye in general population. Apparently, people thought he was going to get killed in general population. How dumb do you have to be? He's fucking Bullseye. What did you think was going to happen? Of course, he was going to end up escaping. And of course, Matt unintentionally helped him because he needs serious anger management. But we knew that Bullseye was not going to be killed by a bunch of people in general. I don't know where people got this idea. The man hits what he aims at. Okay, he can't use his hands. Great. I'm pretty sure he could do the same thing with his feet. He would not miss. I'm not sure where people are getting this idea that this was a good idea. Putting him in solitary or special confinement or whatever the fuck they were calling it was actually protecting the other prisoners from him rather than punishing him for anything, even though it was doing that too. It was just so. Matt is in a pissy mood this whole episode. And it basically starts with a fight with Heather because Heather is going off on vigilantes. What was it, last episode? The episode before, she wanted to interview vigilantes so she could understand them better for her book. And now she's going all anti-vigilante. I'm sorry, how exactly do you expect vigilantes to want to talk to you if you're going to go off? I mean, technically, Frank isn't wearing a mask, so she's probably going to be fine with him. But she even suggested interviewing Daredevil. Seriously, why, if you're going to just hate on him, even though he literally... Okay, fine. Heather was the one who killed Muse. But who gave her the opportunity to do such a thing? Daredevil. So why are we acting like this was all you and it had nothing to do with anyone else? What the hell? So Matt is in a pissy mood this whole episode. He goes to visit Josie. Cherry, of course, follows him. And oddly, Josie doesn't say anything about how the hell he knew that Cherry was next to him. I mean, he didn't say anything, but she did notice when he wasn't using his cane. So, and Cherry very weakly defends Matt. I didn't notice he wasn't using his cane because, of course, Cherry knows he's Daredevil. So they're making Josie out to be an absolute moron, which is sad because she seems like a good friend. So it's a matter of who by the end of this is going to find out that he is Daredevil. And Vanessa ends up killing Adam, which on the one hand, what the fuck? And on the other hand, well, it's not like Fisk was going to let him go. And she probably realized that he's torturing the man. So she probably figured this is the best thing for him to just kill him. So there is that. And they make Nice Nice, which is just bizarre. I mean, she's killing Adam as a mercy because of, what she did. And I don't mean cheating on Fisk, but being dumb enough to tell him who it is. Because what the fuck was she expecting? If you tell him don't kill him, you think that he's going to just let him live his life as if nothing happened? Ugh. So, yes, Vanessa is very, very dumb this episode. I don't know, maybe she feels trapped. But she did tell Heather that no further appointments are necessary, no further therapy sessions, which, yeah, obviously she's not scared of him because she has her own people behind her, including Bullseye. Now, did Bullseye try to kill Fisk to settle an old score? Like, like what Cherry was trying to say about Foggy? Or was this Vanessa's doing? Did Vanessa also hire Bullseye to kill, or sent a message to him while in prison to get out and kill Fisk? So maybe, everyone else is stupid, but maybe Vanessa did know that he was going to escape from General because she isn't an idiot. Anyway, so Matt, now this is the strangest of all. Matt protects Fisk after his whole speech of, first off, before we get to that, what was this huge eureka moment in discovering that Foggy was celebrating prematurely? What does that have to do with anything? Because right after that, he went to meet with Bullseye, and Bullseye, he was trying to get Bullseye to say who hired him, and he assumed it was Kingpin. When he says Fisk, he meant Kingpin. It didn't occur to him until later that it was Vanessa. It literally did not occur to him until after he was dancing with Heather to get close enough so he could eavesdrop, which Fisk is aware that he can hear very well. So he was talking to Matt while dancing with Vanessa. And of course, Vanessa didn't think much of it because, again, she's not an idiot. And so he figures out that Vanessa was behind Bullseye targeting Foggy. So did he think that Vanessa was also targeting Fisk? Is that why he jumped in to save him? Or is this more to get Fisk off his back with the anti-vigilante task force? Because he called out Jack as being swordsman. Whether he actually believed Jack when he said, I have no idea what you're talking about. I want to see swordsman in action. I really want to see that. So, obviously, Matt's not going to die. We know that. Now, it's just a matter of finding out how he survives. And we have only one episode left, so we still have one episode to see who figures out that Matt is Daredevil. Just as an aside, when he was talking to a client and said that basically, yeah, we can't put you on stand because you're lying through your teeth, and storms out, and Kirsten is like, what the hell? Obviously this isn't a good dude. Why are you defending him? I realize that that, lawyers can't, that they have to defend, it's within your rights to have someone to defend you. So that's true. But at the same time, this guy's a dirtbag. I mean, he mocks Matt for being blind. He mocks her for being black. I mean, what scum? And it sounds like the only reason he's with them is because he's a rich boy. And Matt is just like, yeah, I don't give a fuck if you're rich. You're a scumbag, and, I'm just gonna walk out on you. So we finally learn whether BB knows that Fisk killed her uncle. And the answer is she knows he's a suspect, but she doesn't know for sure. God, I wish she would get together with Matt, because Matt would totally tell her that it was, yes, indeed, it was Fisk. My mom, like I said, watches these episodes with me, and she was so worried that BB was going to get shot, that he was going to hit her. And I'm like, Mom, he's bullseye for a reason. He doesn't miss. The only way he would miss is like what happened, that Matt jumps in front of Fisk. So it's going to be interesting to see what Fisk is going to do now, because he is obsessed with Vanessa. And when he finds out that she was probably the one behind Bullseye trying to kill him, yeah, that's going to make things very interesting. Let's see, what else is there? Well, we now know that Heather is completely clueless as to Matt's identity. She didn't catch on that it's the same voice that she's heard before. I mean, obviously she's a bit traumatized over the fact that she killed someone. But the way she was acting about vigilantes and treating Muse and Daredevil as one and the same because they both wear masks is absolutely ridiculous. They're trying to make Heather to be so unsympathetic that if she doesn't end up dead next episode, there's sure as hell going to be Splitsville, because how can you stay with someone who thinks so little of you? I mean, granted, she doesn't know that Matt is Daredevil, but does it really matter? Because you're hearing her true views. You're hearing her true feelings about people without the emotional baggage. She doesn't have, it's not a matter of, oh, you're one of the good ones, like bigots tend to do when it comes to finding out that a group of people that they hate, that it's someone that they care about is part of that group. And then they're like, oh, you're one of the good ones, but I'm going to hate all these others. We're seeing her true feelings before she gets to that point. Because, let's face it, if you're carving out an exception for like one person so you can convince yourself that, you're a good person because you're friends with so-and-so, even though they're part of a group that you otherwise shit on. Do you really want to be friends with that person or in a relationship with that person? Of course not. Because why would you? Because if you were anybody else, if you were someone that this person only just met and only knew as such and such a person, and that they would show this animus towards you? Yeah, there's no way that they're staying together. Um, it was interesting that at first he was looking through his scope at Vanessa and Matt. I don't know, was he thinking, yeah, let me take out Matt? Or was that just a misdirect so you wouldn't catch that he's going after Fisk? So, we have one episode left of this Franken season, is all I can call it, since they brought in new people at some point, which they're just desperately trying to get through this season so they can, do Daredevil the correct way. Still no Punisher, which is disappointing. Like I said, I was hoping I would see Jack do something. Maybe we'll get a meeting of the vigilantes in the last episode. Matt, Frank, and Jack. Or maybe we won't see Jack again until, I don't know, maybe the next season of Hawkeye. I've heard that's going to happen. Because, he almost became Kate's stepfather. So it's possible. She did, this one woman who was like way too high strung, way too nervous about being there. So obviously she was blackmailed into being at this event. Asked Jack about his significant other. So is he back together with Kate's mother? Is she out of prison? Who is his significant other? What else about this episode I wanted to mention? Apparently, BB and the commissioner have partnered. He's going to give her files of all the anti-vigilante task force members who are oh so nice guys. Like, I don't know who it was that they took to the back of the kitchen and assaulted him. And when the commissioner tried to stop him, they're like, oh no, this isn't assault. And then proceed to burn his hand. Is he a journalist? Because they were saying, oh, no pictures allowed and this and that. So maybe he's a journalist. And because BB wasn't doing any of that, they left her alone. Which, I got this feeling that Daniel and BB were more than just friends. I mean, obviously, BB at this point is just using Daniel to learn information. I think that friendship has sailed. I don't think she wants anything to do with Daniel anymore. But she made a deal with the commissioner. So the commissioner now, along with Daniel, is on death watch. Heather, like I mentioned last episode, is no longer on death watch. Sheila is totally on death watch because Daniel seems to imply and Fisk seemed to imply that she's on borrowed time. So I worry about Sheila. Daniel, I worry about because that's just the nature of the business he's getting into. He seems to think that this whole thing is totally cool instead of, oh, I don't know, maybe he watched way too many Godfather movies or something. So the commissioner's on death watch. I really hope BB isn't. Now, whether she learns Matt's identity and gets sucked into his inner circle, I actually don't mind her. I really do not mind her. Obviously, this season was supposed to parallel the Netflix Daredevil series by, BB's the journalist. Karen started out in life in that way. So that they'll keep her on and that she'll become part of Matt's inner circle. Um, that's a possibility, especially if and when he says, oh, and by the way, Fisk 100% killed your uncle. Let's see if there's anything else about this episode that I wanted to mention. I hope next episode they explain why he jumped in front of Fisk, why he took a bullet for him. Because it's one thing to protect him, it's another to literally put your life on the line for someone who basically is your enemy. No matter how many parallels they make between the two, they're not friends. And I wonder if this is going to start getting Heather to finally connect the dots. Because first, he and Daredevil sound alike. And then we see Matt recognizing that Bullseye pulled the trigger before literally anybody else. And certainly before the task force. So someone is going to start putting the pieces together that Matt is Daredevil. Let's see here. I believe that is everything I wanted to discuss about this episode. So we have one episode left. Still no Frank. Now we do know that, or at least I heard, that the actor who plays Frank, John Bernthal, said he did not want to come back if it was just as a cameo. Well, so far all we've seen of him is as a cameo. All the behind-the-scenes footage that we saw of Frank we haven't seen. Like him going after the vigilante cops. I mean, because they say that they're the anti-vigilante task force, but how are their methods literally any different than vigilantes? There isn't any difference. So they're vigilante cops. So are we not going to get any of that? And that if that's the case, why did John Bernthal agree to come back? Unless they assured him that season 2 will be infinitely better. Because as of now, he said he didn't want to just be a cameo, and that's literally all he is right now. Let's see. I believe that is all I have for this video. And with that, I will see you guys in the next one.